Hotel Suite Project Tutorial 4, Chapter 10, Part 2. We're working on this hotel suite floor plan, and in our first component of this video we added blocks to show the representation where these different furniture and other things would be located. In the second part of the video we're going to go through and we're going to add the actual furniture itself as it's laid out in the instructions here for adding blocks to the drawing. And so if I backtrack just a little bit here, we were adding these symbols for the nightstands, the desks, and the dressers. And now we're going to add these blocks. These blocks are located at the publisher website, but I went through and I downloaded them in the D2L area. And so here they are, the hotel suite blocks. And so what you can do is you can download them, and then you can open that file. And as I go through and I take a look at it, it looks like everything's here. Here's the closet rack and the curtains. But when I use the Design Center, in my hotel suite project where I put the other components in, you can get Design Center by typing in DC at the command prompt. And then what you can do is you can navigate your directory structure. And so here's this hotel suite blocks that I just downloaded. And Design Center is a content manager, which means that you can manage content between drawings for everything that you can see here. And so you can manage blocks, you can manage dimension styles, layers. So let's say you open a drawing and it has 100 layers. You could import all of those in Design Center just by grabbing them and then bringing them in. So for example, if I look at the layers, they don't have any layers created in this one. But if I did, I could import those. Same thing with dimension styles. If we look at the blocks, what I notice is that there is a couple of them missing when I use Design Center compared to the download area right here. And I'm not sure why the closet rack doesn't show up or the curtains don't show up, but we'll find a way to work around that. So getting back to the drawing itself and then continuing on with the course, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of these on the blocks layer. And so I can check these that they're all on the blocks layer. A quick way to do it would be to just change the color of it. And so we could change the color of the blocks layer. And these were overridden, and so I could maybe make these by layer. And now they're also on the proper layer. And then we can just go ahead and go to that blocks layer. And I think what we'll do is make a new blocks layer. Copying the last one, we'll say blocks dash furniture. And we'll make the color slightly different shade. We'll make that current, and then we'll collapse our toolbar, and then we'll turn off the blocks layer and make this by layer. All right, let's take a look at the textbook. So we've downloaded the blocks, the hotel blocks, from the publisher website. Like I said, you can also get them from D2L. In D2L, they're located right here. So they're showing you some examples of how to navigate through the Design Center using a Mac. And then as we add the blocks, we'll add these different blocks for the bedroom. And so they said use Design Center, bring in the blocks for the bedroom. And what we're going to do is we're going to put in the bed, the table lamps, the luggage rack, etc. And so they walk you through going through an opening design center and the blocks within that. And then what we'll do is we can drag and drop the bed into the drawing in the room like that. And then we'll just use the move command. And so they're using a midpoint here of the wall to center the bed on that wall. And then you can kind of tweak these to get them to be how you would like them to show up within the room. All right, so let's get started. So here's our king size bed. We'll drag and drop that into the room. I'm going to move my bar off of the screen, and then what I'll do is I'll move from the midpoint, and I have my ortho on to the midpoint here. And then it appears that I need to have my end tables, and so I'll have to turn on my blocks. And on these two nightstands, what I'll do is I'll just take the outside geometry and I'll switch them to the blocks furniture layer. And then I'll turn the other layer back off. And that looks pretty decent, I would say, from a standpoint of getting things set up. I could probably move them Alright, so we have our bed located in the bedroom. We'll add the luggage rack and we'll rotate that at a 45-degree angle, and then we'll draw a line corner to corner in the utility closet. Back to Design Center. Here's our luggage rack. We can just drag and drop that in. You can then click on that. Click on the grip, spacebar, spacebar, and then you can rotate that. If we have our polar enabled, and I usually have it set up at 15-degree angles, you can rotate that using polar, and then we can move it. Looks like I'll need a couple more of those initial blocks right here and here for the desk and for the TV stand. I'll also need to draw a line corner to corner here. Again, I'll go back to my original blocks, enable that, and I'm just going to take the text out, or at least not the text out, but I'm just going to move this geometry to this layer, and then I can turn off the blocks layer. And then as we look at that, and And then we can go ahead and insert the television. And it looks like we have a chair there. I'll come back and break that later. Well, I guess we could break it now. If we wanted to, we would explode that. And then we can trim this off. We can add this closet and the bifold doors. To add the bifold doors, what we'll do is we'll create a line for construction and then move this from the midpoint to the midpoint. And if we want to erase that, we can select them both and then hold Shift and remove one of the geometries. And that's a trick to get rid of line on top of line geometry. All right, we have a couple of lamps to add here. If you want them centered, what you can do is you can put a construction line across it from endpoint to endpoint and then move it to the midpoint. Alright, so that looks like everything that we need in the bedroom except for this curtain. So let's add that too. Now for some reason, here it is. It's the curtain with the valance. I guess it was just really not represented like I thought it would look. We can take this, move it. And we'll try to center that on the window. What you can do if you want is you can use the utilities and create a point style. I'll make this one 1. And we can create a point right there. And then we can erase this geometry and then move this together so that that point is right there. And that way the valance lines up properly. You can leave the point there or you can get rid of it. think I'll leave it. All right. Now we'll add the blocks for the bathroom. We'll add the sink and faucet. We'll offset 1 foot from the back wall, 3 feet 6 to locate that. We'll locate the toilet 4 feet 5 3/4 of an inch from this inside wall. And then we'll do the same type of geometry offset to locate the shower head. So we'll zoom into the bathroom. We'll offset 3 feet 6. This line, that side, and then we'll repeat the offset command 1 foot. We'll get our design center, and we'll get our bathroom sink. And then we'll locate that at that intersection and take out our construction lines. Get the toilet, and we'll get the tub as long as we're in here. That's enough for right now. We'll locate the toilet 4 feet 5 3/4 of an inch. We can verify that with the quick linear dimension. And then we'll just place the tub in the proper location. And we'll add the shower head. And it's located 1 3 1/4 of an inch. 1 foot dash 3 dash 1/4. If you can't get the offset, then just turn off that block layer for a minute. And then we can offset. And then turn our block layer back on. Place our shower head. Remove our construction line. All right, that takes care of the bathroom. And we went through those construction techniques already. So far, so good. And then we can go ahead and add the blocks to the living room. So they're not as specific for the mugs and the coffee maker. Yeah, they have located the bar sink. So let's go ahead and put in the bar sink. So again, I'll have to go back to my blocks. Let's turn that on. Put that on. My blocks layer. and then update this to our new blocks layer furniture. And it looks to me like this is right in the corner. Now when I turn off the blocks and enable the other layer, I can now go through and actually offset 1 foot 3 inch and 1 foot. Insert the sink. Insert the coffee maker, the mugs, and the ice bucket. You can do something where if you swipe these, you can kind of track them. Try to line them up. This one doesn't quite. And then we can bring the curtains back in and add the rest of the furniture, and then update that furniture to the proper layers. Looks like this valence needs to be flipped around, so we'll rotate that. And then I can kind of do that same technique where we can put a point at the midpoint, erase this line. Find the midpoint here. I think that would be it right here, so let's try that. And it appears that we'll need to kind of squish this a little bit. And so we can explode it, and then we can stretch it. When you stretch, use ortho, and we'll stretch it from this point to that point. Didn't quite work out there, so let's try that again. Let's see if it's stretchable. No. So this part, these lines aren't. explode the curtain and use the trim and erase command to complete the living room. So we did explode it, but we'll have to trim those. And what I would do is I would trim these ones back. And then I would stretch. Probably need a little more trimming there. And the same for this side. And then we'll just go ahead and add the other furniture. I don't think I'll record this component of adding the table and the telephone and the other things. I think I'll leave that for you to complete on your own. So as we go through, we'll add the couch, the sofa chair, love seat. They don't really put any dimensions on these, so you can kind of put those in there and then do the same thing. We were enabling this end table and this coffee table. It came out pretty close. Spacebar, spacebar, rotate, move. You can move all of this. Add the telephone. Some more desk chairs and a lamp. Copy. explode, trim. Alright, so it looks like we've got all the furniture in the room. And then what we'll do is we'll create layers and put these different structures on those different layers. So the layers that we'll create will be viewport, structure, furniture, fixtures, and miscellaneous. And then we'll assign the different objects to those different layers. And we'll set up those line weights for that. So to create those layers, what we'll do is we'll say layer. And if you do an apostrophe layer, you can then make, and you can just type them all in with a comma. And so we can say viewport, comma, structure, comma, thought it would work. I guess I have to do them one at a time, and so I have to go with viewport, enter, and then you could say make. I'm not sure if that was really that efficient, but if we take a look at the layer manager now, we have these different layers and they're alphabetized. And so our next step will be then to set up the layer properties according to their table here, where we're going to set the furniture layer. Well, we'll start with the structure layer to green, furniture layer to blue, fixtures to magenta, miscellaneous to red, viewport layer to cyan. And then we'll format, we'll stay white, and we'll add the line weights as shown here. So we'll start with the structure. We'll make that magenta. We'll give it a line weight 0.3 millimeters. And that was supposed to be green. Furniture layer to blue. Already is. Line weight for that. Looks like it's also 0.3. I'm going to pause this while I go through and set all that up. So we've set our different layers now, and we still have our layers from our original block. But as we go through and we work through the textbook, what we're going to do is we're going to put the structure, which would be the walls and the windows, on the structure layer. And so depending on how you want to work this, what I would probably do would be to turn off this layer here, and then I would go through and select that, put it on the structure layer, and continuing. Looks like they put the doors on there too. And you can go ahead and continue and put the other objects on the appropriate layers as shown. We won't worry about adding the layers to the template. Essentially what they're going to do is they're going to drag these into the template to update the template title block. Alright, so that completes this video. Make sure that you go through and you just add the appropriate geometries to their appropriate layers per the textbook.